in my previous life, basically, when I did my undergraduate degree, I had to do research, and I did that. And when I did my graduate degree, I had to do a research project. And then when I did my fellowship, I had to do a research project. So I've gone through that route. The one thing it taught me is that I wasn't cut out to be a researcher, and I was going to go into clinical practice versus research practice. But the reality is, as you move through those steps, and you're making those presentations to these organizations, to the Tri-Committee to make those decisions, especially from a healthcare point of view. The reality is, to your point, Ms. Lefferambrosi, where it's based on scientific merit. And that's the big challenge that we have, is the accountability on that scientific merit to determine what the research will be. So, for example, I mean, I'll just quote here where there was $111,000 given to an organization for a study at the University of British Columbia, and basically the title is Narco-Animalia, Human-Animal Relations in Mexico's Narco Culture. And I guess my thought to you is, if we're talking about scientific merit, somebody gave that money to this study. Where is the scientific merit? Any thoughts on that?
I will say that I believe in our peer review process in Canada, and I believe that our Tri-Councils uphold that in a way that funds the best research in Canada. I think that all research, if, you know, I'm not familiar with that study, so I can't elucidate on that, but you know, I trust that our peer review process was created in a way that is supposed to fund the best available research.
But ultimately, that presentation, before that person would ever get, they had to come up with a methodology, they had to have a purpose, and they had to have a scientific basis for doing in the research they would do. And that was what the research and the funding would be based on, not the peer review. The peer review would be based on what the report was and whether the peer review was actually as a valid study after the fact. The money was given beforehand, which is a waste of taxpayers' dollars, if that's the case, where it's given out before there's any actually understanding it. And Ms. Evans, any comments?
Well, I think what I think I'd like to key in on here is the opportunity that is before all of us when it comes to the three previously siloed granting agencies. Bringing them together under a single umbrella will allow some operational day-to-day streamlining, some new efficiencies. It will lead to greater coherence to researchers wanting to apply to these granting agencies, and allow, through that umbrella mechanism, the capstone itself, to really make sure that we are attending to the most important priorities, the strategy we set for the country, the ways that Canada can show up to major interdisciplinary, major international and mission-driven.
But that umbrella that you're talking about still has the three agencies having their own determination factors underneath. So now you've got two groups doing that. That umbrella isn't going to cut the NSERC or CIHR, et cetera, because they've already given that money. And the setup for Capstone is to put another agency on top of that.
And that's our time. Sorry. Thank you.